Okay, we go to the our next example. Okay, our next example is this is the question, short question. An inverting amplifier with a gain of -12 is to be built. So the objective of project is to build the inverting amplifier, and then with the gain of -12. The circuit, this is the circuit, the proposed circuit gives the output voltage signal something like this. Okay, when the Vs is equal to 1 sine omega t. Okay, so this waveform is not a correct, or it's not the desired output waveform. Okay, now the question is, explain why this waveform is obtained and modified the circuit. Okay, from this waveform, so what we can observe is two things. The first is the observation. The observation, there is a clipping effect. There's a clipping. Okay, so the clipping effect. So suppose, because we have the input is the sine wave, we should have the sine wave. But the measured or the simulated output waveform is not as what we expected. So this is a clipping effect. Okay, and then the second observation is the output waveform is not inverted. Not inverted. Okay. So what is the reason of clipping effect and reason of not inverted? So the reason is because the first is because the input, the output, the reason why we have this waveform, the output waveform, is first, the output signal exceed the max voltage. Minimum voltage. So this is plus minus VCC. Okay, and the second reason is the input is what we call it is applied to non-inverting input port. So that's why we don't get the inverting amplifier. So the solution here, what is the solution? So solution, you need to increase the plus minus VCC. So the original plus VCC is 5 volt and minus VCC is only ground, 0 volt. So we need to increase the plus VCC. So how much is good? How much is acceptable? So the design is, the gain is AV is 12. We want to design AV as 12 volt and Vs is 1 sine omega t. So V out is AVVS. So this will give you minus 12 sine omega t. So the peak voltage for this output waveform is 12 volt, and then the minimum is minus 12 volt. So the negative VCC need to be greater than this value. Okay, need to be greater. Okay, so for example, we can put need to be greater than this value. For example, we can put it as a plus minus 15 volt. That is the first solution to avoid the clipping effect. The second solution is we need to change the configuration, change the connection so that the input will be at the inverting input port. Okay, so the correct configuration is the configuration is done without changing the resistor value. So this is as instructed in the question. So this is your V out, this is your VS, 12 volt, as 12 kilo ohm, and then this is your 1 kilo ohm. Okay, the second, in order to get the inverting, you need to rearrange the circuit to be something like this.